Hi, Dan here, Scootering Magazine. Right, today we've got a test ride lined up. So I'm about to set off now, going to go down to Elvington, to the airfield, where Straightliners are organising the Top Speed Tuesday sprint event over the mile. And there'll be motorbikes and cars and all sorts there, but my main concern is Eric Cope's sprint machine. He will also have his road bike there, and then what I'm hoping to do is take his road bike out for a little test ride. I've been hearing great things about this road going RB250 that he's got, which is running a Clubman exhaust, and so it's not a usual matchup that, and it's apparently giving some great results. So without further ado, I'm going to get my gear on and get across there and just go see what's going on. Right, we're here at Elvington at the airfield for the Top Speed Tuesday. We've got the King of Sprint, Eric Cope, here. Just remind us, Eric, what's the recent top speed you've hit?
127.5.
127.5 on a full-bodied Lambretta. It's actually the Orange Beast over there. We'll be doing a little bit on that in the future. But in terms of your road bike, Eric, what's the spec of this machine we're looking at now?
It's just a RB252, one of Daryl Taylor's with a Clubman box on it. What he's developed over the last 12 months.
And what carb are you running on this?
It's a 39mm Dellorto.
39mm Dellorto. And what's the approximate horsepower output of this?
This with an expansion on, it'll be in the 40s, but with the Clubman on, it's about 33.
Yeah. And this Clubman then, can you tell us anything about the development of that? I've thought anything that's gone on behind the scenes?
It's just something Daryl's been playing with on the dyno for the last 12 months, and got some really good torque figures out of it, and also got it to rev.
So we've got a 30 plus RB250 252 with a Clubman on.
Running 4.4 gearing.
Running 4.4 gearing, excellent. Okay, right, so if I take this out for a spin, see what we can make of it, and see if we can get a bit of a video of it out on the road.
Yep.
Right, cheers. Right, on the 252 RB, Taylor tuned, 39mm carb, 5-speed gearbox, 4.4 gearing, and apparently drop it into 5th gear, 30 mile an hour, and gently roll on. We shall see. Now I've just pulled over for a second. This is my first run out on it, and I took it from first to fifth as quickly as I could, and then just rolled it on. And when you're in fifth, it doesn't feel like it's mid-30s horsepower. It feels very, very sedate, manageable, low down torque, rolls off the throttle. It's brilliant. But then if you knock it down a gear and you want to go, damn, this thing just opens up in a way you want it to. So it's incredibly manageable in low down revs if you're off the throttle, and then it goes, but it's not savage either. It's not savage, it's linear. It's nice. Let's just take that for a spin around the village and see what we can make of it. I got so much bloody speed up there. The wind forced my bloody jacket open. Flying down the road with jacket flaring everywhere. Damn it, oh. Let's try again, boy. Mile an hour, still in fifth gear.
How well mannered is this? Bang on 30 mile an hour. 5th gear. No dramas. Mile an hour zone. Still in 5th gear at 20 miles an hour. I'm going to have to change down at some point, surely. Bloody hellfire. Bang on 20. 5th gear. Unbelievable, Jeff. That was awesome.
That was awful,
It's
real bag of crap. I'll pass you on to Danny, you know.
oh, just let me get my helmet off.
What do you think of that?
Unbelievable.
Lovely, isn't it?
It's amazing.
It's so easy to ride.
It's just effortless.
And it's so smooth, you don't realise how fast you go.
No, you don't. Well, I do because I kept peeping, but it's effortless, and it's effortless everywhere, whether you're going slow or whether you're going fast.
30 mile an hour, 50.
It's nice to go quick on, if that makes sense. Anyway, just let me get the lid off.
Right, well, we're back from Elvington. I took Eric's road bike out for a spin. There's another video about his sprint bike. I got to see a glimpse of him going up and down the track and have a quick word with him about a few things to do with his sprint bike, so just check out the other video on that. But got to take his bike out on the road for a short run. And Eric's had that engine now, and he's covered around 1,500 miles on it, he tells me. And it's quite amazing, really, what they've managed to, he and Daryl, well, you know, Daryl's tuned and built and developed that engine with Eric, for Eric, and the exhausts set up on there. I'm going to have to speak to Daryl in more detail about this and get some facts and figures off him, or as much as he's willing to divulge, because obviously Daryl gives a lot of information away about what he does and helps a lot of people, but I think really it's, you know, it's only right that he keeps a bit for himself. But it's amazing. The setup is so I can't emphasize this enough, it's so user friendly. When you hear somebody say, oh yeah, I've got a 30 something horsepower RB252, you know, big carb and all the rest of it, it's running a Clubman pipe, you sort of first think, well, that's a mismatch, that doesn't sound right. And then you get on it, it's got a 5-speed gearbox, and you can set off, you know, just nice easy revs, get going. If you want to open that throttle, believe you me, and I hope that you know, translates in the video of me out on the test ride, it goes. I mean, it really goes. But likewise, I mean, in some of those 30 and even the 20 mile an hour speed limit areas, I left it in 5th gear. I came into those towns, you know, into Elvington, and I just let it come down in speed and didn't change. And I was waiting for the you know, and knocking it down again. Wasn't happening, so I just gave it a little bit of throttle to see if that would make it judge. No. And you get it right down to 20 mile an hour in 5th gear. Now, okay, when you open that, it doesn't immediately then launch off because you're in 5th gear, but you can go into town 30 mile an hour and come out of town 30 mile an hour without changing gear, and then just open up the throttle, roll it on, and that thing goes, and it keeps going and going and going and going until you've run out of road. Likewise, if you're pulling out of a junction or into fast moving traffic, at the other end of the spectrum, not wanting to do a gentle roll on, but wanting to launch, it goes, but it doesn't have what I call that frenzied wall of power where there's nothing or very little, you know, power low down and then suddenly a big curve. It's almost linear. Is how I'm going to have to see the graph, because it feels just like a ton of torque pulling on, pulling on, pulling on, pulling on, pulling all the way through. And then you bang it into the next gear and it just repeat until before you know it, I mean, you're off the clock. But it's a really interesting setup. I'm going to really dig down deep with Daryl as much as he'll give me. Obviously, like I say, leaving a bit for, you know, his own, for himself. He got to do that. But I'm going to get what I can and do a feature in the magazine, write up the spec of it, and see, you know, see what's going on with it. But I think it's a fabulous bit of kit, and it's really defined a new sort of style of power delivery for, well, no, it hasn't defined a new style of power delivery, but I think it's set a bit of a new benchmark in terms of what we can expect from Clubman exhausts if they're matched up with the right, you know, the right research, tuning, engineering, fitment and so on. Anyway, I enjoyed the test ride. I hope you did too. See you on the next video.